Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Farming Simulator 15 on Mulroy Bay, where today we're going to do a bit of cultivating. I did do some minor edits. I have opened up the cow field because I think that's a field I can use for grass. I've also baled up all the hay, and I think I mowed another field and windrowed it up. I also swapped out the windrower to, I'll show you guys. I swapped out the windrower to the Kuhn GA4521 GM. It's just a better one. I haven't done a mod spotlight on this because I completely forgot about it when I was recording them for the weekend. I had a quick look at it while I was windrowing. It works perfectly. There's no log errors as far as I can tell. Yeah, no log errors. Completely worth getting, and it's a one-row windrower. 100% worth getting if you want a small windrower. 4.5 meters, folds up, unfolds, works in general, so, you know, nothing wrong with that. So, as you can see, we're at minus €5,000, so I did have to cheat a bit to get the windrower in, and that caused a minor bug. Actually baled up field, is it 18? Field 8, I want to say 18, yes, field 18, and lost a couple of bales into the sea, which was nice. But that's the thing that happens. So as you can see, I've got the, okay, now I'm gonna get down to work. I'm gonna get down to work now. So don't start shouting in the comments yet, although somebody probably has already. As you can see, I've got the, better keyboard steering mod in, so means I won't be moving the mouse as much, and it means I can focus on actually doing the field work, which is nice. How far does this go? Is this like right up to the hedge? This could be problematic if it's like right up to the hedge. So yes, I am only gonna windrow, not windrow, cultivate. Been focused so much on bales recently, I've forgotten the rest of the things. I'm only going to be cultivating. I'm not going to plough on this map. If you want to see ploughing, watch Nuston. This is a bit more of a casual map, I guess, is the best way to put it. I know I could have gone farther back there, but I do kind of want to get this done. I like the cultivated ground texture. That is really quite nice. This is precisely why I got the better keyboard steering mod. It is intended for keyboards, but I kind of think that with keyboards it is annoying and not really worth getting. Because as you saw at the mod spotlights, I did use the keyboard and mouse because I always do with mod spotlights, and it just annoyed me, to be perfectly honest. It just didn't strike me as very good for keyboards. However, with wheels, or if I had to kind of guess, because I don't really use it anymore, well, farm sim anyway, I do use it occasionally. Xbox controllers might be very good with an Xbox controller, because it's a bit more precise than the analog sticks, so that's another option for you. So yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm kind of getting just a bit burned out with farm sim because I've been, you'll see it tomorrow, I've been editing the living daylights out of Nuston, and it took probably all in all about 50 hours over the course of the past week. Which kind of proves that I don't have a job at the moment. Don't intend on getting a job outside of YouTube and my other project, because that is going to hopefully turn into a full-time job at some point in the next year or so. So I am kind of living on handouts from my parents, which isn't the best, but they understand what's going on, which always helps. So yeah, Nuston, that was about 50 hours I did fail once. If you follow me on Twitter, you would have seen me getting really angry at about 3 o'clock in the morning one day, when I realised that all of the edits I'd done to Nuston had broken the map completely because I'd screwed up. I'd screwed up the scene graph to the point where the map wouldn't function anymore. Which, that's not a good thing to do. I have put a few scripts in, which is... that's gonna be fun. I tried to put 2 in. I tried to put pigs in, but the pig mob wasn't playing nice and kept crashing the map. There was something going wrong with the door script of the pigs. The actual door part of the pig building was causing a low call stack error. And I looked up the forums, Marhu's forums, because of course I put some Marhu stuff in for that, and yeah, it doesn't work. Just absolutely no help, and I'm thinking it was me putting a different scripted item like right beside the doors. So I'll show off new Nuston to you guys tomorrow, because I do have it working now. It is not 100% error free, but it's completely functional at, well, 30 to 60 frames per second, which is kind of the target I aim for, or I aimed for, shall we say. I'm not gonna try and get it running like completely error free, because I don't intend on releasing the map. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to edit up the map and release it and then have Pitorius coming after me being like, oh, you never asked my permission, we never spoke about this. And to be quite honest, I don't really want to talk to him about releasing the map, because I don't think he'd say yes, because it's... well, I have kept, and you'll see it tomorrow, and I know I'm talking about something that you haven't seen yet. I have kept the basic feel of Nuston there. The essence of Nuston is still there. I just moved the art around a bit and added in a couple of scripts. And 2 new items onto the map to play with. One that I haven't used before, one that I have. So you can guess the one item that I have thrown in that I've used before, that is scripted, and is actually really easy to install. Although previously I think I screwed up something and didn't get the particle system working. I think I've got that started now. The other thing is new to me. I've looked at maps that use it, but I haven't used it myself, so that's going to be a bit of fun for me. So, Field 11 here is a lot bigger than Field 18. I think I'm just going to use this single field as well as the little field down by the chickens for the time being for all of my grain needs. What do I need? Trying to think of what I need for the pigs and beef cattle. I think they're both installed in this. Yeah, they are both installed in this map. I need barley or wheat, which there's going to be no shortage of that. I can promise you that. I'm also going to need some sugar beets or potatoes. Now, seeing as I'm doing beets on Nuston, and I don't want to be doing the same thing on both maps all the time, though I have been doing it lately with the hay thing. Yeah, I think I'm going to grow some potatoes on this map, and I'm trying not to sound too Irish when I say that word, but it is very hard. I'm going to grow some spuds, and yeah, we're going to feed our animals here with potatoes instead of beets. And on Nuston, obviously, it's just growing beets for the sake of growing beets. So yeah, a word from the wise here, and I've learned this the hard way. If you're editing a map in FarmSim, number 1, don't ever delete anything from the scene graph. Just move it onto the map, because you can break a map really easy by doing that, as I discovered. Number 2, if you put scripts in, make sure you understand what on earth you're doing, because that is an easy problem to have. Is you start installing a script and then you kind of get lost halfway through, and it fails, and then you get angry with yourself, and then you look at it the next day and you're like, oh, this is exactly what I did wrong. So they're two very important things. It's the same if you're making a map yourself. You need to remember how to use the scene graph, which I'm still kind of learning, and you need to make sure that you actually follow the instructions of the script properly and quadruple check everything, because I forgot 2 or 3 lines on the mod disk and that screwed me over for a couple of hours because I'm not very good with it. There was one point when the mod disk wouldn't even load, so I just loaded up my backup mod disk and re-scripted it. And then it worked perfectly. It presumably was because I deleted the script, which was odd. I didn't see the point of having a redundant script in the map, so I tried deleting it, and that screwed up the entire mod disk, which was fun. Luckily, re-scripting it is a lot easier. Scripting it is a lot easier the second time around, because you remember what you put in the first time round. And I've just realised I'm not using GPS, but I am getting reasonably straight lines here. I am rather pleased. Also, you may have noticed, parked up next to the combine harvester was the front loader. I have finally decided this is my front loader tractor because, well, right now I can't afford getting the New Holland front loader. I also have a frog in my throat, which always happens when I'm recording. I can go through 4 or 5 days, no frog in my throat. But the second I turn on Audacity, which is what I do now, the second I turn on Audacity and Fraps, frogs just suddenly appear from nowhere. I'm quite pleased on this cultivating job I'm doing, actually. I know it's not the most exciting thing in the world, but I'm pleased with how I'm doing it. And it does seem that working in the cab is helping somehow. And definitely the keyboard steering script is, because I can actually see what I'm doing. So yeah, things are going for me. I've been pretty much I've been pretty much working myself to the bone with the mustard edit, and I kind of somewhat accidentally pulled an all-nighter again last night, which seems to be becoming a theme, which is annoying me. I just stayed up all night last night because I realised at like 4 o'clock in the morning that, hey, I'm still awake, there's no point in going to bed now, because I won't get anything done tomorrow if I do. Because I do tend to be limited on time most days, just due to family things. So I decided I'd just do all the off-screen work here and prepare this map for today. Which surprisingly I did. No, I did put it off several times. It took me about 4 hours to do 3 hours of work. No, it took me much longer than 4 hours. Yeah, but it was about 3 hours of work-ish. 3-4 hours of work here. And, yeah, I'm kind of... That's why I'm after deciding to just do the one field for now. 2 if you include the potato field, that I'll probably do. What am I going to do with this field? I'm going to grow some barley, I think. And I'm going to plant it up in probably, not the next episode, but the episode after. I'm going to record in the next episode immediately after this one. I'm going to grow some barley, but I'm going to chop the straw because there is enough straw in both of my stockpiles. I've no need for any extra straw. Hay would be nice, but don't have. Hay would be nice, but I'm not gonna mow another field for the time being. What do I need to do? What can I do in the next episode? Ooh, that's a question. I think in the next episode, because by the time we're only 15 minutes in, I'm planning on doing about 20 minutes here. If not a bit more. I'm just trying to think ahead for myself. I think in the next episode, we will be doing some silage. I'm gonna take a loan, get a forage wagon, and we'll head down to the animal farm and start on silage. Now I did check the user attributes in Giant's Editor for the silage clamp that's up there, and it takes about 600,000 litres, thereabouts. So we're gonna need quite a bit of grass for that to get over 10%. I'm trying to aim for about 30%, which is, I think that's achievable. Yeah, I think that's achievable, the amount of grass that I've mowed. And if not, I'll just mow some more and then kind of work away on that off screen for a few days. But I'm gonna take a couple of days after I've recorded this and nothing. I'm gonna take a couple of days away from Farm Sim because I don't want to get burnt out and just be like, oh god, I've got to record another video. I want to be that happy dude who's always happy in videos, and that's not me right now. If you watch the channel update real life thingy that I did last week, you know some of the reasons why. The rest of the reason would just be that I've been literally doing. I'm not gonna lie. I've been doing very little other than Farm Sim lately. There've been a couple of days where I've been working on Nuston and genuinely forgot to eat. That was the indicator I pressed, not what I wanted. So yeah, when I start forgetting to eat, it means I've been working too hard. I'm not gonna fix those hedges because they can just stay and annoy me like that. I might at some point in the future, but not right now. And I still find it funny. I said in one of my first videos in Farm Sim 15, oh, I won't use private mods, and then I go off and edit my maps. I mean, technically they're not private mods, they're just private maps. But I'm not good with Giant's Editor. I'm gonna say that straight away. I'm not good with Giant's Editor. So if I can do these edits, anyone can, and all the stuff is there, all the ingredients are there. You just need to, you know, get your own ideas of what you want done to the farm. What you want done to the map. And really I'm just editing these maps to make them a bit more comfortable for me, because I'd rather not have to try and cart, you know, hay and straw around Mulroy Bay. I mean, that's just something that I'd prefer not to do. Nuston, the edits I've done were just to make it a bit. I wanted more storage on the main farm. I wanted a couple of extra things in. I wanted to change the cow zone, so I did all that. And quite honestly, I think I did a reasonable job. I even went so far as to rescale some of the buildings, so they look a bit odd, but they kind of work in the way that I want them to, which, you know, I wanted to keep the kind of, you can't have too much equipment, so here's some tiny sheds for you kind of feel going on. I have been on Nuston just fiddling around with small things, just moving all the equipment about, since I finished the edit, so I know it works, which is the main thing. And I'm quite pleased with how it's turned out, and I hope you guys like it when you see it tomorrow. That's assuming any of you guys will watch this, actually watch the Nuston series, because I have this distinct feeling that there are people who watch Mulroy and there are other people who watch Nuston. Which is fine, I know there's going to be some overlap, but everybody likes a different kind of map, and some people might not like the small Irish feel of this map, which I get that. I didn't like it in 2013. I actually do like it now that I've got a wheel. Who's ringing? Can you guys hear the phone in the background? I don't think you can. Just look at Audacity. Somebody's ringing the house phone, and I'm not going to answer it because it's probably my crazy uncle. That sounds really bad, doesn't it? Good lord. I go off last week talking about all my family issues and everything going on, and then I say, oh, it's probably my crazy uncle, I'm not going to bother answering. I'm going to have to defend myself now. I wasn't going to end the video. My crazy uncle, and I'm not making any of this up, he was a staunch atheist for years and years and years and years and years. And he went on the El Camino walk in Spain about 5 or 6 years ago, which is a religious pilgrimage for Catholics. I believe it's for Catholics, it might just be for Christians in general. But anyway, he came back from the El Camino, and he was dead certain that he was now a priest. And not just a priest, but Jesus incarnate. He was absolutely certain he was Jesus. And this went on for a few months, and then he gave up on that idea. But pretty much within the same month or so that he had given up on the idea that he was Jesus, it turned out that he was dating a Colombian woman he had met on the El Camino. Now, this Colombian woman actually did live... Well, she lived in Hungary at the time. And she had to leave Hungary for some reason or another. And I'm not going to speculate as to what a Colombian would be doing having to leave Hungary. Leave you draw your own conclusions. And he decided he was going to marry her. So they spent a lot of time together. He went over to Colombia, where she has a very rich family for some reason, and the family has bodyguards for some reason in Colombia. Draw your own conclusions. And anyway, for his wedding, this is his second wedding, by the way. The first one ended because, well, his first wife realized he was crazy. Basically. His second wedding, he decided, do you know what's a brilliant idea and not at all tacky? Vegas. So this man who was atheist, went on a Christian pilgrimage, returned thinking he was either Jesus or a priest, then decided, no, actually I'm going to date a Colombian woman who lives in Hungary, had decided that the best place to marry said Colombian woman, who is apparently very nice, by the way. I haven't met her myself, and I don't think my parents have either, but apparently she's very nice. He decided the best thing to do was go to Vegas and get married. I mean, that's... Sometimes people wonder, and my friends do genuinely wonder, why are you so screwed up in the head? And then I tell them about my uncle. And then they say, oh, that explains everything. Because I actually tone down how crazy I am in these videos. I do talk about a load of weird stuff and go off on tangents. That's me. That's like real me coming through. Partially I do play, yeah, the character, whatever. But the real me does just go off on crazy tangents all the damn time. About the dumbest stuff. But yeah. I think I might do kind of stories every so often of various family members. If I can, like, remember any. But yeah, that's why I have that's my crazy uncle, and I think everybody has one. I think everybody has this uncle that just comes up with the dumbest ideas thinking they're brilliant. And they're really not. That same uncle, actually, I've just remembered. That same uncle, for my birthday one year, wanted to give me a €3,000 telescope. And the only reason he was persuaded not to was because my parents told him, no, we don't have the space for it. That's genuinely it. Like, what kind of... He wanted to give me, essentially, he wanted to give me €3,000. I was 12 at the time. What kind of madman gives a 12-year-old something worth €3,000? 300 maybe, but no, you buy cheap crap for kids. Like, yes, 12-year-olds are mature and whatever, and seemingly ever more more mature by the year, but you don't do that. You just don't. Anyway, I think it's about time I ended this before I go off on some weird tangent about one of my cousins or something. I don't know. I'll see you guys next time when I'll be foraging up some silage, and I'll be doing that with a forage wagon that I've yet to buy. I'll do that in the next episode. So until next time, which will be Wednesday for this series, for episode 14, I want to say. This has been episode 13, if that's the case. Yes, this has been episode 13. I'm trying to think in my head what was the last 2 episodes to go up. I only actually remember the numbers when I'm uploading, by the way. When I'm rendering. Other than that, it was just like, hey, it's another video on Luston. What number is it? I don't know. Until next time. Thank you very, very much for watching. I'll see you again tomorrow on Luston, or Wednesday back here in Mulroy Bay. Until then, stay safe and goodbye.